Hello everyone, my name is Musa and I'm excited to be taking ACTL4001 with you all. I thought I'd record a video to go through my discussion post for the first discussion question. I decided to choose watch insurance as the financial or insurance product that I was going to be looking into for two main reasons. One, I have watch insurance, and the second is I'm particularly passionate about it. Or should I say, I'm passionate about watches. Watch insurance is just ancillary to my own passion. So hopefully I can actually bring out some interesting points in a type of insurance that's sort of novel and not everyone necessarily encounters. Okay, so in terms of my presentation, we're first going to talk about why watch insurance matters, particularly matters to me, the key features of my particular insurance policy, and then the external forces influencing its demand, as per the discussion prompt. Personally, I've taken out watch insurance with a company called Jewel Cover. Jewel Cover's insurance is underwritten by Chubb Australia. So sometimes you'll see, for example, the Australian Open, it has sponsored by Chubb. That's who it's underwritten by. Okay, a little bit of an introduction. So, why did I get watch insurance in the first place? So I was lucky enough in December 2023 to be able to purchase a watch that to me was relatively quite expensive. Okay, maybe people have different perspectives, but to me it was quite expensive. And I sort of realized that there was a financial risk associated with this purchase. It's that if I broke it, or if someone stole it, or if something happened to it, I would be devastated, both financially and then also emotionally. So I realized, especially in speaking to a few friends who have purchased watch insurance, they said don't wear it anywhere until you first buy some insurance. You're going to have the peace of mind and you're going to have the security that no matter what happens, you'll be okay. So they recommended for me to look into Jewel Cover, and I was particularly interested in buying watch insurance for these following reasons. First, it's valuable asset consideration. Luxury watches are not merely accessory, but sometimes are significant assets that may go up in price, and they require some form of financial protection through insurance, in the same way that we have home and contents insurance. Next is repair and replacement costs. High repair and high replacement costs for luxury timepieces necessitate comprehensive insurance to mitigate their financial risks. And then of course there's also sentimental value. I bought this for very sentimental reasons. I've been waiting for one for years, and because it carries a lot of emotional significance, I think insurance was an essential safeguard for managing or maintaining that personal connection and all those memories. So, what are the key features of the particular Jewel Cover insurance that I've undertaken? First, there's comprehensive worldwide coverage. So, this policy ensures global protection against theft, loss, or damage, enhancing security for traveling watch owners. It really helped when I was going overseas to know that I could wear it out and not have to worry about it being stolen or my policy not necessarily being in place whilst I'm overseas. What's kind of interesting about watch insurance is that Jewel Cover, as well as other watch insurers, respect and appreciate the fact that watches, like many assets, may appreciate in value. That's why they have a market value based sum insured system. It's not about the fact that I bought it for X dollars. It's sum insured is always calculated as a function of its market value as well. So it's a function of both of those two, how much you purchased it as well as the market value. Interestingly, because they understand the watch market very well, they recognize that just because let's say they can't replace it, and you get paid out, you wouldn't want to get paid out the market value. Oftentimes, because of the demand that exists within the watch industry, they recognize that just because you have the money doesn't necessarily mean that you can go and buy it because of the limited supply, maybe I should say the restricted supply by watchmakers. And that's why they have a 125% payout term in their contract. And the idea is that it guarantees a higher payout to recognize and appreciate the fact of how difficult it is to replace such a timepiece. Okay, now it's time to talk about the external forces. Firstly, let's talk about cultural and social influences. Watches have long been associated with status, achievement, and tradition. Many people purchase high-end timepieces to mark significant milestones such as career advancements, anniversaries, or particular family legacies. These cultural associations reinforce the idea that a watch is an investment, not just an accessory, which in turn increases demand for insurance. More recently, social media and influencer culture have also contributed to the popularity of luxury timepieces amongst Gen Zs and millennials. As high-profile figures showcase their collections, interest in timepieces have grown, particularly among these younger generations, and this drives further demand towards insurance policies for them. Furthermore, interestingly, there's been a rising theft concern, and I've noticed this in particular in the UK, and it's almost made watch insurance an essential insurance policy or coverage to have. Now let's talk about demographic factors. Watch insurance is particularly relevant for individuals who own high-value timepieces, but the profile of these buyers is actually changing. Traditionally, insurance demand has been strongest amongst established collectors and high-net-worth individuals, but these younger demographics are also entering the market, and because they may be considering them as alternative investments, similar to maybe you could say like art, or I don't want to say real estate because that's not similar to art or watches, but let's include real estate as an asset as well, that we have insurance for. We've had a little bit of a different approach towards watches, and therefore the necessity for their insurance. Additionally, the growth of pre-owned and vintage watch market has made watches a more dynamic asset class. As resale values increase, many owners are recognizing the importance of specialist insurance policies, relying on something simply like home and contents insurance, which may not fully cover high-value items, particularly out of the home, for example, if you're wearing it out on the street. Now let's talk about governmental influences. Regulation plays a very critical role in shaping insurance products. We know this. In Australia, insurance policies are regulated by the Corporations Act, which manages all corporations. It's overseen by ASIC and by APRA. So, yeah, APRA is made for superannuation, banks, and insurance companies. Now, dual cover, the one in particular that I have, has something called a target market determination document. And it basically ensures or spells out what it thinks its target market is. And it basically states that the policy is suitable for individuals who own high-value watches rather than for a business use or lower-value items. This makes it a consumer law matter, and therefore it's also regulated by the ACCC, which is the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission. Another important factor that also influences whether someone would actually take out an insurance policy for their watch is in international treaties as well as international sanctions. In doing research, I noticed that despite it having global coverage, it actually has a little bit of a carve-out for certain few countries. Those ones are Iran, Syria, North Korea, North Sudan, Crimea, and Cuba. So, if someone is an avid holidayer in any of those places, then maybe this isn't necessarily the insurance policy for you. Of course, these sanctions and the overall regulation that exists around any insurance policy is going to affect the demand. I think this video is already too long, so you can probably just read through this one. But it's kind of obvious anyway. I think the only thing that I'd like to include in terms of economic and business environment and how that affects demand is that because of the current market for watches, in that particular luxury timepieces, for example, Rolexes, are so hard to find, and it's also hard to get an adequate equivalent replacement, it's actually made replacement prices go up. And that's why, uniquely to, I guess, the jewelry and watch insurance industry or sector, you've had to create these terms like 125% payout policies, okay, which I don't necessarily see for other insurance products. Yeah, that's the end of this video. It's already too long. I hope you got something out of it. Yeah.